Thanks for tuning in. Ham Talk Live will be on the air shortly. Please stand by. Thanks for tuning in. Ham Talk Live will be on the air shortly. Please stand by. This episode of Ham Talk Live is brought to you by Tower Electronics. For connectors, cables, and more, visit them at a Hamfest near you or call 920-435-2973 or online at pl-259.com.
It's Ham Radio with Neil Rapp. Here we go. Welcome to Ham Talk Live. Call in, let's talk. Neil's your guy. Ham Talk Live. Here we go on Ham Talk Radio.
Hey, good evening, everyone. It's time for Ham Talk Live. It's episode 117. It's the one we've been promising. It's the full-length Wal-Mart Parking Lots on the Air, recorded live on Thursday, May 31st, 2018. I'm your host, Neil Rapp, WB9VPG. Thanks for tuning in to this episode of Ham Talk Live. Tonight, we're joined by Adam Whitney, K0FFY, and Josh Ward, W3ARD, from the Wimplota organizers, and we'll take your calls live in a little bit. Last week here on the show, Matt Thomas, W1MST, was here to talk about amateurradio.com and blogging, and if you missed that, you can listen anytime. Just go to hamtalklive.com. Or you can listen to the podcast edition on Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, iHeart Podcasts, Google Play, TuneIn, SoundCloud, your favorite app, and we're also over on YouTube. So you can catch us there. So get your Wimplota questions ready to go. Yes, there's going to be another one. We're going to talk about it. And after we talk to Adam and Josh tonight, for a while in the interview, you can give us a call. So I'll go ahead and give you the phone number so you have it, but it's not time to call just yet. But the number is 812-NET-HAM-1. That's 812-638-4261 for the alphabetically challenged. Or you can call us on Skype at Ham Talk Live. You can also tweet us. We're at Ham Talk Live on Twitter, so this one should be a lot of fun. So I'll be back with Adam and Josh right after this word from Tower Electronics right here on Ham Talk Live.
Hey, honey, have you seen the PL259s anywhere?
No, I haven't. Come on, kids, let's go. There's just one place to go for all of your connector needs.
Tower Electronics.
Tower Electronics.
Tower Electronics. A giant warehouse of connectors and adapters for every occasion. Thousands to choose from in every shape, size, and color. And they have antennas, soldering supplies, cables, meters, and more. Where do you go if you want to buy a connector at a fraction of retail cost?
Tower Electronics.
Tower Electronics.
Tower Electronics. And this weekend only, take advantage of our special liquidation sale. Buy 9 solder-type PL259s, get the 10th one for just 1 penny. They make great Christmas presents. And what better way to say I love you than with the gift of a PL259?
Tower Electronics.
Tower Electronics.
Tower Electronics.
Hi, I'm Scott Cole, KB9AMM, president of Tower Electronics. I like the company so much that I bought it.
Tower Electronics, coming to a Hamfest near you, or online at pl-259.com. And we're in the yellow pages under Amateur Radio Connectors.
My, wherever did you get that lovely PL259?
Tower Electronics, pl-259.com, or call 920-435-2973.
Do we sell PL259 connectors?
Ham Talk Live with Neil Rapp. Hey baby, I'd love to be in your grid square.
Thanks again to Scott and Jill at Tower Electronics for sponsoring the show. Hamfest schedule coming up. They'll be in the Upper Peninsula, June 9th in Newberry, Michigan. June 17th, Monroe, Michigan, just south of Detroit. And July 7th, they'll be in South Milwaukee. It's Oak Creek, Wisconsin. Of course, you can visit them online at pl-259.com anytime. Tell them you heard it on Ham Talk Live. Well, tonight we have two guests. Adam Whitney, K0FFY, is from Des Moines, Iowa, and the webmaster and chief organizer of Wal-Mart Parking Lots on the Air. Adam became a ham in 1998 while he was working at a hydrogen line telescope in college at Iowa State, and after a 20-year hiatus, he's back on the air after catching the satellite bug. And also with us tonight is Josh Ward, W3ARD. He's in Waco, Texas, and just gained a newborn daughter and lost all the people he was following on Twitter. So we'll talk about that in a little bit. Josh enjoys working satellites and APRS high-altitude balloons. And Josh is known as the overnight stalker of the group. He's the night owl. So Adam and Josh, welcome to the show finally. We got you on.
Yeah, hi, Neil. Thanks.
Hi, Neil. How's it going?
It's going great. We're going to have have a lot of fun here tonight. And oh my goodness, Twitter's already blowing up. I just hit the button over here, and oh my goodness, 14 already. So yeah, this is going to be a fun episode. But you know, we've talked about Walmart parking lots on the air a little bit, and it got me going. I've been kind of listening and trying to do some satellite stuff, and then I was like, okay, I got to go do this, and it was just a lot of fun. And it was just some random conversations out there on Twitter, and all of a sudden this came up. So Josh has got a little bit of the history of how in the world Wimploda started. So Josh, go right ahead.
Sure. So first of all, is that how we're officially calling this? I've never actually verbalized. I've never spoken the acronym.
I kind of ran with that, so
No,
I guess that's how you
that
do
works.
it.
Yeah.
Or you can do Whamploda.
Whamploda, yeah. So roughly the history, and I'm going to kind of go with the pilot rule that all stories have to be at least 10% true. The best I can recall, the best I can find on Twitter was around about April 12th. K7TAB Chris was on family trip, and he was headed to West Virginia and had advertised or announced that he was going to be working the Morgantown, West Virginia grid line. I believe it's Echo Mike 99, Fox Mike 09. And I'm sure a lot of followers understand what grid lines are, but whenever you're working satellites, that's one of the things that, we kind of mark our progress. And that's kind of the way we, kind of what we enjoy doing is, checking the box, and collecting grid squares. And so anytime somebody's doing something kind of rare, like a grid line, we follow along and, try to work that past. And Chris, in between whatever family obligation he had said, I'm going to work in Morgantown, and I'll be operating from this particular Walmart parking lot. And I chuckled and Googled, mapped, and noticed that, by goodness, there actually was a Walmart parking lot dead right in the middle of this grid line. And I commented to that fact. And then the conversation started from there, and I think Glenn, AA5PK, maybe Doug, N6UA, everybody kind of chimed in and realized at some point in time that they had activated a grid line also from a Walmart parking lot, some random Walmart parking lot. And then the conversation, kind of being silly, kind of geeky, we all talked about, with the sheer number of Walmarts, I wonder how many grid lines actually run through a Walmart parking lot. And the conversation, at 140 characters, 150 characters at a time, people kept chiming in on, they started looking at maps and realizing that they actually had a Walmart that had a grid line running through it, and how fun would it be to activate. And there's a few other characters. We also kind of chase special QSL cards. I've got one that my wife designed for me because I tend to be a bit of a night owl. I like to work late night passes. And so there were some conversations about, if we work a Walmart grid line, maybe we should have some special QSL cards. And before you knew it, literally 36 hours, it had gone from being a conversation to, we should do this sometime. And, it went from the thing that didn't exist to all of a sudden there was a date on a calendar and a URL registered and a website and a wiki put up. And when people go, are we really doing this? And the answer was, I guess we are. And that's sort of where it started.
Well, Adam has come up with a lot of this stuff and kind of put it together on the website and manage that kind of thing. And one thing before I let Adam talk about how the first Wimplota went, we want to mention one thing that we were talking about before the show, that this is longer than the two of you have ever talked before, because it's always, call sign, grid square, QSL, and that's it.
Yeah, the average satellite pass, if you get the right one going directly 90 degrees overhead, the average satellite pass might be 11 and a half minutes. And because it's a shared resource and, it's not operating full duplex, you can only get in and talk if you're going to be fair to the rest of the community. It's, call sign grid square, done. Move on to the next one, which I kind of enjoy. I don't really want to bash the HF guys. I just don't have a lot to sit around and talk about on HF radio. And I love being able to look at my phone and know there's a satellite overhead in 2 hours. I can commit to like 8 or 10 minutes, get a couple of QSOs, get out and go about my life. And I looked at the log this morning and I realized that Adam and I we've traded 2 QSOs. If you average maybe 6 to 8 seconds per QSO, we probably spent, about 12 seconds talking to each other. So tonight during the pre-call, we like quadrupled the amount of time that we'd ever talked. So it's been fun talking to Adam. I've never talked to him before, except for communicating via Twitter, which is a great place to find us.
Well, Adam, let's talk about how the first one went. And we've got some things that we definitely want to throw in here we've talked about, but tell us how the first one went.
Yeah, Josh did a great job kind of introducing it. I definitely was one who added a lot of fuel to the fire. And one of the things was, hams are kind of natural experimenters. So I wasn't sure I was going to go. It was kind of an experiment, like Josh said. And I think all of us, especially the people who are just kind of, couldn't help but do it, were pretty amazed at the participation and just the fun that was had. That was kind of when I really kind of, like I say, added fuel to the fire. I registered the web domain, created a Twitter account, sent some QSL cards to the printer. My whole idea on the experiment, there was a couple of things that I wanted to see if they would work, and they definitely did work. One of the things was just how much fun and how much inclusiveness could we bring about with an event that just sprung out of nowhere. So with the website, the rules, awards, scoring, it was a wiki, and people just from the internet were just adding whatever crazy and fun and wacky awards they could. Anything to do with Walmart, really, there was an award for it, and that definitely turned into a fun event during the event. The things that stand out in my head so it was 2 days on a weekend. It actually started, midnight UTC on Saturday. So for most of the U.S. that was, late evening. So there was like you mentioned, an overnight stalker award for late night QSOs. On the first night, there was a Black Friday award. So just tying the awards and bonuses to Walmart, that was definitely a fun aspect. But the other things were the things that I wanted to see, and especially that the community kind of, tries to get a strong interest in, is operating portable. And so, like Josh said, everyone had a Walmart. Half of them were on grid lines out there. So it was really like, how many people can we get out? People there was a lot of people that had never operated portable before. They'd been on satellites, but I counted at least a dozen people that, cobbled together HTs and, other antennas to go portable. So that was really cool to see. There was at least 2 that chimed in on Twitter that were first-time satellite operators.
That blew me away. That was awesome.
Yeah, that was awesome. There was one, Scott was his name. I'm trying to remember his call sign. I think it was here it is, WY1LIE. He actually did a live, Periscope on Twitter of his very first ever satellite QSO. So that was just cool to see, just his excitement.
That's one where his kids were in the car.
Yeah, yep. That was brought his kids, and that was the other thing is like I had a couple bonuses that I threw in. To the other thing is, there's been a lot of talk in ham radio in general about encouraging youth, to get involved in ham radio. I think it's perfect for encouraging, the kind of STEM academic learning movement that's going on right now. So there was bonuses if you brought your kids along with you, or, if you were a student operator. I threw a huge bonus in for that. And it was really cool to see. If you go onto Twitter and do a search for the hashtag WMPLOTA, you'll see all the photos out there. And there's just a lot that had people bringing their kids and including them in the event. So I thought that was really cool.
It was just silly enough to really connect with some folks. But, it was done. It was for a first-time, completely organic grassroots thing. It exploded, and it was awesome. I don't mean to step on Adam's story, but, like a lot of people that host a lot of events, I only work 2 passes. I work 2 late-night passes because that's kind of my identity. I work late-night passes. It was more fun for me to actually follow Twitter all weekend, see all the photos, see all the videos, listen to people and watch people, planning passes. You got people that are traveling, in big metropolitan cities. There's like 9 Walmarts in their city, and, they're hitting like 7 of the 9 over the course of the weekend. And I'm like, I don't know. It blew me away that people really took to it the way they did. And it made me proud. And nobody even owned the event. There's like 6 or 8 of us that kind of got it started, and then we just got to back away and just watch the community do it. And it was so much fun to just monitor the traffic. So thank everybody that participated. Thank you, everybody that participated, because you really made my weekend.
Yeah, definitely. It was
I had
great.
fun doing it. I had fun talking about it, but I got to admit, the most fun that I had with it was after I saw that Old Roy award, and I went, wait a second. Let's take every brand that Walmart has of their own and let's make a bonus for it. And so you have me to blame for Special Kitty and all those
right. So
ridiculous Faded Glory, and I just kept going.
Yeah, so I'm guilty of that too. Whenever Adam put the wiki together, there was a suggestion that was, hey, go populate the award list. And I wasn't sleeping real great at the time. The daughter was, a few days away from being born, a little keyed up about that. So I just hopped in and I decided I was going to start kind of seeding some ideas, fully expecting Adam or somebody to come and veto. So some of the, working 1 store express lane, working 5 stores, regional manager. I'm the one that put a lot of those numerical ones in, but I didn't know. I just assumed that, maybe somebody had worked 2 or 3 passes and that would be it. So I put some big numbers out there. Come to find out, people were actually trying and chasing those numbers. But the whole award structure was put together on a wiki page. And what was fun was there were people that I think had some ideas of what they could accomplish that weekend, and they were basically like calling their own shot. They were calling their own award. And it was like, I think I can hit 5 stores and do it from the back of my truck. So I'm going to create a 4 stores and a truck award. And then none of the awards, the wiki wasn't even locked until about 2 hours before the event started. So pretty much anybody could put anything down they thought they could accomplish. And it was awesome.
And my favorite is still Old Roy with Roy.
Old Roy with Roy. Yeah, and then we had the 2 for 2, which was the Doug and Chris Tabor. And I'm sorry if I'm mispronouncing the last name. This is ham radio. I've never met you guys. It's all via Twitter. But, if you could work the same, you could work both the Tabors in one pass, you got an award for that. I mean, we were just inventing anything that sounded fun. And, and then the MacGyver Award. I'm going to shut up and let somebody else talk about that. There's the MacGyver Award. That was awesome.
All right, Adam, there you go.
Yeah, no, that was my favorite.
Go, Adam, go.
And that award. Because that if you were a homebrew ham, that was your award. It was basically, and I think it was KM6NJL came up with the idea, threw that on the page. But you had to buy all of your materials in the Walmart that day, take a picture of your receipt, and then walk out in the parking lot and build your satellite antenna. And there were people that were just, that came out a few days in advance of the event, and people had their plans on, I think I can buy this, and I think I can make this. And we got tons of questions about, well, can I bring my multi-tool? Can I bring a piece of coax? How's this work? But the results of the people that one person pulled it off, Soren won the award. But there was, several attempts, and just the planning that went into that was just awesome to see, what kind of crazy, spur of the moment things you can grab off a shelf on Walmart, walk into the parking lot in the sun and heat and build the antenna. And actually you had to make a satellite QSO with it. That was my favorite. And that was the favorite of a lot of people. And the pictures that are out there of the people that built antennas and the attempts that were made are pretty cool. In fact, on the leaderboard page, there was a couple folks that made the antenna, but didn't make the QSO. But they put so much effort and time and put pictures on Twitter. I had to award them, an honorable mention, because that was just awesome to see that come together, and then see Soren pull that off with just it. The antenna looked terrible. It was like marshmallow toasting forks for the Element.
They were like toaster forks, like from like a Coleman camp stove toaster.
Yeah, there you go.
Tongs. Yeah.
So it looked terrible, but he made like 6 QSOs with it. Some on linear, some on FM.
Yeah. So I guess on that note, sort of one of the fun parts to me was, I'm the one that kind of threw out the I don't even remember what we named it, but it was like the first contact. So whenever you set the time at 00 Zulu, we knew that it was going to be somewhere between, I guess, like 6 p.m. and like 8 p.m. for most of the country. Everybody's like, when you set that time of, midnight Zulu, I didn't even take the time to look and see, are there any satellites even overhead? And it just so happened that it was an SO50. I don't remember. It
was a linear bird, one of the Chinese linears.
Right. But the first FM satellite was like 4 minutes after the event started. So there was going to be this clamor. Like everybody was racing to make the first contact on the first FM satellite. And my rule was you had to log. It wasn't just making the contact. I wanted official confirmation in LOTW. So there were all these people racing around trying to figure out, okay, if I make contact, can I log it in LOTW? And how quickly can I get it done? And then I got a private message. I got a DM on Twitter. And basically it was, hey, don't advertise this, but there's actually a linear bird that's going to be like directly overhead at the exact moment the event goes live. And I think we can make contact on this linear bird, and we can beat everybody by like 4 minutes. And I was like, the fact that somebody had, one, had planned it out, and two, was so invested in winning the award that they contacted me directly and said, will this count? I was like, okay, this event has turned into something. this event has turned into something that there's like this backdoor, like, hey, everybody's going for the 004 satellite, but I think we can make contact at exactly the moment the event goes live. Will that count? Yeah, sure. Okay, whatever.
Well, as expected, we're already running overtime here, so we're going to have to take a break here soon. But first, before we do, Adam, you got to talk about old Roy.
Yeah, so that's one of the pictures are the best thing on Twitter, just to see the fun that people are having with that. But 3 people did get old Roy, and in fact, one of those got old Roy with Roy. It was Roy Dean, K0FFY, who is named Roy. But yeah, it basically people took the time to bring their dog out, operating with them in the Walmart parking lot, and snap a photo of them and their dog while they're operating. You post it to Twitter with the hashtag, and that was just great to see. People bringing their dog. I don't know how often, maybe that happens all the time. People bringing their dogs out with them while they're out operating portable, but yeah, so that was one of my favorites. And the fact that Roy Dean said, well, I'm one of the few people that can get old Roy with Roy. In fact, who knows? I think maybe he even put the award in to the wiki, but
yeah. I love that because it's, with Roy, well, you got to have somebody named Roy.
Yeah,
and then I put in the Sam Walton where it's you got to get a contact with somebody named Sam.
Yeah. Is that the photo where he's operating from inside the basket? I think that's the one. I don't remember.
I think so. Yeah,
it is.
That was the thing that
we tweeted it out.
Right.
Yeah.
There was also, I like the fact that we were also trying to promote, putting the baskets back and, try to be a good steward of the Walmart parking lots. It's just trying to give back a little bit.
All right. Well, I'm going to have to take a break, but when we come back, we're going to talk about the next one. There is going to be a next one. So make sure you come back after the break and hear about that right here on Ham Talk Live.
The National Voice of America Museum of Broadcasting, located in Westchester, Ohio, just north of Cincinnati, is only 2 minutes off I-75. The museum is the former home of the Voice of America Bethany Relay Station. Tours are now available every Saturday and Sunday from 1 to 4 p.m. Eastern Time. You can see the control room, a 200,000-watt transmitter, and the most comprehensive collection of inventions by the iconic Powell Crosley Jr. Also on display is a huge antique radio exhibit and R.L. Drake's personal collection of most every Drake amateur rig ever made. This is a unique opportunity to see amateur radio in action and have a chance to get on the air from WC8 VOA. Admission is only $5 a person. The museum is located close to historic WLW-AM and tons of shopping and restaurants. Take a trip to the VOA Museum or visit us online at voamuseum.org.
Right now, you could be sitting on a beach, sipping a drink with an umbrella in it, and enjoying the good life. But instead, you've decided to listen to Ham Talk Live. So we thank you. And now here's Neil Rapp with more of the show.
Well, if you get over to Westchester, Ohio, be sure to visit the VOA Museum. They're open every Saturday and Sunday, 1 to 4 p.m. local time. And you can hear Ham Talk Live on the air every Thursday night at 9 p.m. Eastern Time right here at hamtalklive.com. Make sure you check us out on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. And we're going to take your calls here shortly. And we've got a whole bunch of tweets out here to get on. But first, we had to jump ahead here a little bit. to catch up. So, Adam, tell us about the next Wimploda.
All right. Well, enough people got excited and clamored for an encore. So Brian Karcher, KG5GJT, had the idea. Let's do it on the birthday of Walmart. So mark your calendars. If you didn't take part, or if you did take part and want to do it again, it's July 2nd, which happens to be the birthday of Walmart. First store opened on July 2nd. And just Googling that date, we also noticed that happens to be World UFO Day. Not quite entirely sure what that is, but it sounds like we could have a lot of fun with that. So I threw that in the description as well. But yeah, so 00 UTC, July 2nd. So that'll be the evening of July 1st. I'm imagining some of the popular bonuses like the Black Friday bonus will do that again. The early bird, like Josh mentioned, the race for the first QSO. Definitely keeping all the fun awards and bonuses going through 2359 Zulu on July 2nd. So just a one-day encore this time. And I plan to very soon, there's been some scores trickling in from the April event, but I'm going to post the final standings here in a couple weeks in June, and then very soon open the wiki up for ideas on awards and bonuses. And I'm kind of expecting some, to go with the theme of the birthday of Walmart, and not quite sure how the World UFO Day is going to come in, but my imagination's kind of going wild. So it's coming up July 2nd.
So you get a bonus for working an alien? Is that?
The birthday thing, I'm thinking, there was actually an award, and believe it or not, two people won this. And Neil, you may have added this, the Great Value Award, where if you got a cute
I did,
while eating chicken obtained from the Walmart deli. They posted their photos of the chicken that they were eating. So I'm kind of imagining there's going to be a birthday cake variant.
That's beautiful.
Yes.
I don't know about the the UFO thing. But
yeah, well, wait a minute. That's the wrong show. That's Art Bell's show. But
right.
All right. Well, yep. Go ahead.
I was going to say the one thing that I have to ask Adam. So I mean, what I need people to understand is it sounds like we're like really well organized and well thought out. You got to realize that this is so organic. I don't even know what Adam's doing half the time. At some point, there was a question that was asked: are we ever going to open it up to HF contacts, HF portable? And I don't know that we ever restricted it to satellites, but that would be kind of interesting. And then the other piece I would add is I did think it was interesting. The question came up for like Mexico, Canada, Alaska. Could people sub in, sort of a Walmart equivalent? And that was a blast.
Yeah, that question came up, and we said, why not? If it's all about operating portable and, just kind of having fun going to a store parking lot. So we didn't have a lot, but we had, AL6D from Alaska kind of counted as a DX entity because we counted that. But we did also have an operator from Brazil make one QSO on AO7, but he won the long distance award. With an operator in Rhode Island from Brazil. So that was the international. It became an intercontinental event, I guess, by opening that up. And like Josh says, it kind of it's an organic thing. And I wasn't, on the site, I didn't exclude HF. I just know so little about HF contests, and I don't really operate HF. So I people that ask, I kind of encourage them, and I'm like, sure, why not? If you want to, help organize that, go right ahead. But it was mostly just sticking with what we knew, which was the satellite QSOs. And
yeah, I could totally see this going with HF too.
Bring it on.
All right. Well, I'm going to get to these tweets because they're racking up here, and I'm going to since I'm the host of the show, I get to pick. So my favorite one so far is from our friend Jim, K0FFY, who says, the awards needed adult supervision. Glad that never happened.
I think there should be a reward too. It's sort of like dialing after 2 a.m. I think half the awards I put in there was somewhere between 3 and 4 a.m. one night. There probably needs to be a rule on what time of night you can add awards.
Now, Ruth, KM4LAO, says she's working on modern physics while listening to the show. And she also, let's find it. Oh, says the MacGyver was the greatest award that weekend, hands down. She's still amazed how he made an antenna that worked for multiple QSOs, and well done. So that's from Ruth.
I have to say hi to Ruth. Ruth and I have a fun relationship on the satellites because she's kind of known as the unicorn. She's that rare young female who operates satellites. So she's the unicorn, and a lot of people know me as sort of the night owl because I work so many late night passes. So there's actually sort of an unspoken award. If you can work a pass and get the unicorn and the night owl in the same pass, it's a good night for you. So hi, Ruth.
There we go. Yeah.
Hi, Jim. Was
And
actually, I like you so K5ND. So hi, Jim.
And let's see, we've got more here. And Ruth says, I think we need a traveling alien seeker award wearing a tinfoil hat while making QSOs from a shopping cart being pushed by an assistant.
Done.
Now there's a specific one. Okay, here's Jeff. Jeff chimed in. We said we were going to have to get him on here. Jeff WE4B says, will a cupcake with a candle work as a birthday cake? Will that count?
My birthday is July 4th.
Already. No, Walmart's birthday.
My birthday is July 4th, and we've got a tradition of a moon pie with a candle. I'm willing to recognize the Walmart birthday with a moon pie or cupcake and a candle.
Any baked confection. We'll call it here on air.
Done.
All right. And Patrick WD9EWK says he's listening and enjoying that, and agrees on the MacGyver award.
And shout out to Patrick. Patrick is the top scorer and the most intense rover. Josh had mentioned hitting 8 or 9 stores. Patrick did 8 stores in one day on the event, and that boosted his score, a crazy amount. Patrick did awesome on the event.
And Jeff says moon pies rock, so we got
fantastic.
that. Sean Kutzko, KX9X, I knew he'd chime in sooner or later here. He says, when Ploto was the embodiment of true ham spirit, the satellite community came together and made a great event succeed. The MacGyver Award, roving, and hams new to satellites participate. Can't ask for more. Bravo to you two.
Fantastic. Thanks, Sean.
And let's see here. What else do we have? I know we had more. Dr. Scott Wright, K0MD, wants to know if we're offering a bonus for eating cheesecake on a stick. Now, that was probably directed at me because for Hamvention, I always had this thing that we had to bring back. Cheesecake on a stick. It was missing, but it was back this year. In fact, 2 different places had it. So that was probably directed my way. But
I realize it's pretty customary to suck up to the host. But hey, Neil, by the way, thank you for actually doing this. This was a blast doing. We're not done yet, but this was a blast. I'm glad to get to participate. So thanks for mentioning this and bringing this back to the world.
Oh, we had to. It was just too much fun, and it grew and grew and grew. And then I'm doing Newsline, and I interviewed Adam for Newsline, and was trying to get that going, and it was the worst thing ever because I had like 4.5 minutes worth, and my editor Karen KD2GUT says you have to stay under 2 minutes, and I'm just like, no, I can't do it. And so every time that I talk about Karen having to cut down what I say, I always bring up Wimplota because it was I couldn't cram it into 2 minutes. But we were working on that, and then the very next week, they do over in the UK. They do the pubs on the air.
Oh man.
So it's like, oh no. And then last weekend I was out in the mobile and Julie needed to go to Kroger. So I'm like, okay, I'll drop you off in Kroger and then I'm going to go down to the other end of the parking lot and I'm going to get the satellite pass. So we had Kaplota. And then somebody on Twitter said, no, wait a minute. Shouldn't it be Kaplata? Get the Klingon in there. So we're just getting really, really new.
It's
all kinds of silliness. Oh, Sean has a question. Sean KX9X says, did you ever hear from the Walmart PR team?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, that sort of implies that we're working sort of sanctioned. At some point in time, this thing's going to get big enough that we probably need to check in with the mothership and let them know that this is happening.
Yeah, we made an effort to fly under the radar and just I mean, like Josh mentioned before, there were some bonuses that put the carts back. You pick up litter in the parking lot. So try and be friendly with the store that is implicitly hosting it with their parking lot. So no, we did not.
Okay. Well, I think I'm through most of these and I'm looking at the clock. And so, we're probably going to go a few minutes over tonight, but Adam, what have we left out? What do we need to get in here?
Oh man, I think we hit most. I mean, the big ones, I wanted to call out and just reiterate is just the whole idea from my perspective and why I really fueled it was just pointing out the fun in amateur radio, and trying to make it fun and make people try new things like building their own antenna, getting their kids involved, teaching them that ham radio is fun and you can learn a lot. So yeah, I mean, we hit on the awards, like people are mentioning the MacGyver. It was just the best because trying to build an antenna out of just random stuff and actually make it work. I mean, that actually takes a lot of understanding, and skill to pull that off. So that definitely was a highlight, and just the portable operating. There was a lot of comments I saw outside the satellite community that people were applauding Wimplota because it was encouraging people to get out, operate portable, and just get out of your comfort zone, get in new locations, and just really encourage that. Which I know a lot of the other on the air events. I mean, that's a big part of what they're trying to encourage. So yeah, we hit on the things that stand out in my head, and that's why I think it's a success. Regardless of how many people did it, it's just the fun and just the idea of you can have a fun amateur radio event that can be grassroots and just be a little bit wacky, but it can have like really good benefits. That's really what stands out for me.
Yeah,
and I'm not so sure, it isn't an outreach because people are going to see you out in the Walmart parking lots.
I think there was at least one tweet. There was at least one tweet I remember that somebody said that they were out operating satellites, and at least one other ham walked up in the parking lot like, what are you doing? Are you working satellites? And then sat around for the rest of the pass. I mean, there definitely it raises some eyebrows, but you're kind of an ambassador, so it's good stuff.
All right. Well, we're going to have to finish up. I've got a couple of things I need to get in here before we go, but one of them, Josh, is I'm reading all these tweets here, and there's all this Twitter activity, and you're not seeing a bit of it.
Not a single
not
one.
A thing, because your Twitter account's all messed up, and nobody wants to fix it.
Yeah. About a week ago, I was following about 300 people, and I had about 360 followers. And all of a sudden, my feed went dry. I wasn't wasn't hearing anything. And somehow, for whatever reason, the database, something got corrupted, and I apparently am literally following null. Like it's impossible for me to follow anyone right now. So I can tweet, I can shout into the void, and people can hear what I'm tweeting or see what I'm tweeting. But yeah, Twitter support has been absolutely no help. I've tried official and unofficial channels. So if anybody's got any contacts with Twitter, please help me get that account back reinstated in a good standing.
And we've been doing some tweeting on your behalf as well.
Well, thank you very much. Yeah, we'll see. If I have to start a new account, I will. If I have to start from scratch, I will. It'll be fine. But I really, like I said, about a year and a half, I guess it was probably 9 months ago, I felt like I kind of found my tribe. I found K0FFY, AA5PK, Adam. I found all these guys, and and Ruth, and it's just been a blast. And if you're not on Twitter, you don't have to be, but I tell you, it's a lot of fun, and it's a lot easier to find out, have some context for who's going to be on a satellite, who's working rare grids. And there's been just a lot of camaraderie. I mean, this whole thing started because of those communications and because of those relationships. So
if you want to tweet, Twitter support about W3ARD/5,
yeah,
needing some help, you might want to do that. Okay, I can't pass this one up. We're already over, but I can't pass this one up. The tweet just came in from KG5GJT. What? Me an instigator and stirring the pot? No way. Jeff, WE4B, can vouch for me on that one as well. Hope the show's great. Still at Walt Disney World.
Fantastic.
Thanks, Brian.
Thanks, Brian.
So he's still out there, and he's been
that's Brian
up with some of these awards too.
Brian Karcher with a K. I would need to specify. The first time I sent him a QSL card, I left the K off of his name. So he's got a Brian Archer QSL card and a Brian Karcher QSL card.
Oh my! Well, we had to get that in because that's going on, and one other thing that I need to get in that I promised I would get in, 100 Watts to Wire is having their tune-up June 8th through the 10th. 100 UTC on June 8th, Friday, through 23:59 on Sunday, and it's a chance for you to tune up all your stuff for field day. If you can go portable, go portable. So again, this is one of those things where you can go portable and get out there, but this one's more concentrated on HF. Trade call sign state. If you got a 100 watts ID, do that, and a true signal report. So, wow, everybody's not 5'9". Oh my. And there's some prizes and some stuff, just for, turning in your log or something. It's just random drawings. So anyway, 100wattstowire.com, check that out. And we keep talking about the website and everything for Wimplota. We haven't even mentioned the addresses. So if you want to find out more about Wal-Mart Parking Lots on the air, Adam, tell them how you do that.
Yep, the main website, WMPLOTA.org.
Okay, so go over there and you can check out the wiki, and there's also the WMPLOTA Twitter account at WMPLOTA. So, guys, it's been a total blast, as I knew it would be, and thank you so much for coming on.
Yeah, thanks, Neil. This has been great.
Thanks, Neil. Thanks, Adam. Had a fantastic evening.
All right, well, that is a wrap for this week's edition of Ham Talk Live. Thanks to my guests, Adam Whitney, K0FFY, Josh Ward, W3ARD, and everyone out there in Twitter land for chiming in, and invite you back next Thursday night at 9 p.m. Eastern Time. And to see who's on the show, who's coming up, visit hamtalklive.com. Just click on the show schedule link. And if you like the show, please leave us a review on iTunes or wherever you listen. We'd like to build that up a little bit and make it easier for people to find us. So for now, this is Neil Rapp, WB9VPG, saying 7375, and may the good DX be yours.